Hi, this is Banker Y. I'm here to discuss defibrillators. I'm here to discuss, it's actually a subject that's actually very close to my heart. I started back at my company almost 7 years ago, and the very first day that I walked into that company, I was coming down for lunch, and I saw a gentleman who was heavyset, who was being wheeled out on one of these rolling chairs, basically to an ambulance, and I never saw that person again. What was interesting in our corporation is that we're a huge building. We have more than 40 stories, and on every floor within the building there was a defibrillator. And in these defibrillators, they had instructions on how to use them, and they would have teams that were trained, and I was trained, and people within my department were trained, and they were trained on how to use them and how to help people and resuscitate people, etc. And what happened is, about 2 years ago, all of a sudden, all the defibrillators throughout the entire building disappeared, except for 4. They were located on 16 and 40 and 45 and 50, and those were the only floors. And somehow you're supposed to run to the defibrillator. You're supposed to know where the other defibrillator was, but it was never posted anywhere, anything. So here I am. I was part of the morning crew, and I used to it was part of the breakfast club. Would get in there. There was a guy named Joe. He was my partner in terms of getting in early, and he would eat at least 3 or 4 lunches. So before, breakfast is in the morning, but before we had breakfast, here I am. I'm writing up a note to the chairman of the board saying, dear so-and-so, here I am. I'm really upset that why were all defibrillators moved, etc. If it's just batteries as a cost, we could, run one less commercial, and we could, fund for all the batteries throughout the whole empire. But I was, a little bit ensconced on it. I was making sure that I, didn't spell any word wrong, and I used spell check. So of course it changed all the words from defibrillator, because I spelled it wrong, to defoliator. And then, quick as lightning, because I wanted to send it out before we went to breakfast, I sent it out with the wrong word, defoliator. So here it went to the chairman of the board. He's looking for things that are going to get rid of trees on floors. He sends down 2 flunkies, 3 months later, to find out what is going on. And sure enough, I used the wrong word, defibrillators, and saying, you have a fiduciary responsibility and a humanitarian responsibility to get rid of these things and have them back on the floor. So, long story short, I think that there should be a rule passed to any large corporation. If you have more than 100 people on the floor in any building within New York City or any one of the metropolises within the United States, you should have a defibrillator. There is a very sad story and a very touching story about a young boy who was 16 who made the shot of his life in a basketball game, and he died. What happened was he had a massive coronary, and he died. And when they tried to use the defibrillator to bring him back to life, its batteries were run out. But his parents don't even want to, they don't want to sue. All they want to do is make it that at every event that the batteries would be checked, in sporting events, and they would be there. And their backward state is not doing it. I can tell them from the bottom of my heart what they should do is rescind that they wouldn't, do this, massive lawsuit. Do the massive lawsuit. Create the fund that will fund it. They could at least get $10 million because the story is so tragic, and make that as a fund in memory of their son throughout all the schools within that state. I mean, I cannot imagine. It's just so backward. I don't understand why any of us would not allow that to happen. We should have it definitely for our children, and we should have it for our parents. We should have it in the workplace, and we should make people want to learn how to do resuscitation, both for adults and for adolescents, for toddlers. It's important to learn. It's important for mankind to do that. That's my opinion. Thank you.